Monday or Tuesday. Monday morning.
That's what you said. Windows are down.
I hope it runs on my car this time.
Is my window down?
No. It'd just be me and Jim.
Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Karen here.
Jerry here.
Kathy.
John here.
Can I get a motion to approve the amended agenda?
I'll make a motion for the amended agenda.
I'll second. Karen, I.
Jerry, aye.
Kathy,
John,
Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion for the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Karen, I.
Jerry, aye.
Kathy,
John.
Okay, Public Works monthly report.
First on the list.
So, any questions or concerns on anything? Never got a chance to take a look at it.
That area
Is
down
there any
there,
topics you want to touch on?
that area that down here that I kind of stumbled across, that drainage tile.
Sure.
Is once you kind of reroute all that stuff, that seemed to take care of it, or?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I think it was some stuff that took place in the past. That was just kind of not really done properly, you might say.
Is it still that way though? I mean,
No.
the stuff that was done in the past, you noticed where it was and corrected it? Is
Yeah,
that what you're
right.
saying? Okay.
Yeah.
Did Lynn Blosch's backyard dry up? Have you noticed or paid any attention?
No, so I noticed it was kind of cool. And, I looked at that. That's a little bit of maintenance back there, a little bit of regrading, maybe a 4-inch tile ran up through there. Just minor things to take care of, resolve the problem that are
Yeah.
going on back there, I believe. I don't think it's a major issue.
No, I don't.
Considering how wet it's been this spring and summer, a lot of areas are wet.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, a disadvantage to having a drainage ditch in your backyard. Not meaning to be rude about it, but
No, that's the way it is, yeah.
yeah.
Anything else for Dean? Okay, moving on. DMAT's tip presentation.
I think Sean was on the agenda, but he couldn't make it tonight, so
Okay.
I'm Dan Fox from the CIA, who's presenting this item. So thanks for having me here tonight. Basically, I'm here to present on the DMAT's Transportation Improvement Program, which is a 4-year financial implementation plan for all federally funded projects within the metro area. So this plan basically means that any project that's using federal transportation funding needs to be programmed in this document. We update the document every year. And over the last several years, we've been trying to go out to all the members before it gets adopted, just provide an update on it, and let you ask any questions or give you any additional information you might need. So, along with the agenda in your packet, there was a table that provided a summary of the funding balances that are available and the projects that are programmed into this year's TIP document. City of Peosta does not have any projects programmed in this version of the document. So all the projects are either in Dubuque County or Asbury for this round. I believe Peosta did have a project, a Safe Routes to School project that was programmed in the previous year's version, but nothing in there this year. So the full document is going to the DMAT's board that decides what projects are included, what projects get funded. This week, DMAT's meeting is on Thursday. So it will be presented to the board, they will adopt it if they think everything looks good. And so that's about it. Any questions about
section of Old Highway is that? You know?
Not. I'm not sure on that one. What section would be exact?
Whether it's 20 or 151?
Let's see. We can look it up now. This full version of the document is available on our website, so if you're interested in looking at the details of some of this, and it's going to be really small print on this one.
That's okay, Dan. But if it gets close to us, will you let us know? I mean, if it's gonna be close to us.
Yeah, I guess that is just looking at the map here, it looks like it starts from Peosta Street basically to the east, back towards the
Starting at Peosta, at the intersection.
yeah, that's what it looks like from the map.
What are they gonna do, just resurface?
I believe so. Like, yeah, I'm just trying to find it. There we go. Yeah, so it's from Sundown Road, 4 miles east to Cycle Road, 80 feet.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Do you know they're gonna be complete total shutdown?
You know, I don't know. I think we would have those details in this document.
What did you ask, John?
If it'd be a complete total shutdown.
Oh, I don't think. It'll be just overlay, asphalt overlay.
And that's within a year.
2021.
Yeah, program for fiscal year 21.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
What qualifies for TIP?
So
What kind of projects?
one of the things has to be a federally eligible route. And so one of the reasons Peosta doesn't always have a lot of projects in there because Peosta Street is really the only eligible route within the city limits.
Would the railroad tracks qualify for that?
No, it depends. I guess it depends on the type of project. Are you talking about the crossing?
Yeah, basically.
Because with all the truck traffic,
Semi-traffic just destroyed it. We just redid it not too long ago too.
so you can go through there, you can see the deads.
It's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I would imagine that could be an eligible project. So the way it works is every year we do an application process, and so the members of DMAT can fill out the application and they get evaluated, and ultimately DMAT's board decides what projects are included in the actual document, which one can fund.
Okay. That's something to keep in mind.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay. Anybody else got anything?
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Dan. All right. Amended facility plan design schedule and SRF environmental review application.
I uploaded all the documents that Eldon provided. As I mentioned, this is part of the process where we're retracing some of our steps. Eldon can hold any questions, but as we noted, this is all documentation that was previously created that has been amended. And we can hopefully step quickly back through the environmental review.
Looks like the layout's a little bit better along the tracks there.
Yeah, not having the constant one-way slope is kind of allowed us to play around with a little bit more. I think the basics of it is just showing that we're at the new site. It's giving us some distance, separation distances between the Beadler building and the nearest structure that we were, between the nearest structure that we have on site. We're closing the gap a little bit, but it's still within the set off distances that were previously existing. So we're still okay on there. We're just in the process of getting that waiver signed by the owner at this point. And once they sign it and get it recorded with the county, then we can submit everything together.
Alan, is there any way we can direct that water all toward the track?
Which water?
Any storm water? So right now it comes down, as you approach, you get to the north side of Industrial Drive. And right now I think the natural water flow is basically right there toward the end of Industrial Park Drive.
Yeah, that's
Can we
right.
direct all that water on the northern side of that property and take it west so that it's in that big ditch? Therefore, if there was ever any intention on building
This
that.
way.
Yeah, right now it flows. Right now it flows through kind of swale right next to the railroad, and then it goes right into this new property. It drops down into a channel, and it goes through a 36-inch culvert
Correct.
down in the big ditch. It would be up to.
Can we create a natural waterway along the south side of the railroad tracks?
It goes up actually.
Right,
Pretty
when that
significant.
site, when the grade work's done on that site, it's gonna be,
It would be pretty difficult, but I could see about whether or not we could slide another waterway in there. It'd probably have to be a 10 or 12 foot cut to get it there. If we could put it in a pipe, it'd be a lot easier. But we'd have to see what that cut looked like, because we're gonna be pretty close to the. If we go down, we have to go down, and then we have to go a lot of way back up to get up to the lagoon, or lagoon burns. So
Right now-
it's create a pretty big jet.
Right now
Take
it's
up
in a
lot of
tube?
space.
Right now, is it in a tube that goes underneath there and then comes out by the lagoons?
Yes.
so yeah, if it comes out on the.
And as a part of this, we can modify where that existing stormwater pipe, that it's kind of a culvert, it's kind of a storm sewer, there's no manholes or anything, but we can modify that to include a manhole and kind of bend it in a different way to make more use of the site if we need to as well. And maybe that'll help with the expansion that potentially might take place to the north of the existing buildings out there.
Does that come under the tracks then, from the field on the other side of the tracks, or no?
Yeah,
Right there.
there's so how water flows, and can I pick this up real quick?
sure,
All right. So how water flows right now is, there's a big open field to the north here, and that all flows basically this direction. But as you get like within 100 feet of the railroad tracks, it all shoves north, and then it runs in a kind of a ditch along here, and then it gets down to this spot, and then there's a culvert that runs from here down to the big swale.
There's presently a culvert, or that's the
It's like
design?
it's there.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
there,
Somebody put in I think it's either a 30 or a 36, I can't remember which right now, but a big corrugated HDPE culvert. So that captures all this water from this ditch, and then from this ditch this way, and then it directs it down into the
Dean
big-
wants
big
to run it parallel to the tracks.
Yeah,
going
he's
to
talking
the
about
ditch.
taking all this water down here and then taking it all the way across to there.
And
with-
you're
with
saying
an open,
on the
with an
ditch
open
end,
cut.
you'd have to
Go down 12
go down
foot.
12
Yeah,
feet.
up here, this is probably 12 feet higher than that. So we'd have to put in a pretty significantly sized ditch to get that water to flow all the way over there, unless we put in a pipe. But it'd be a lot longer than going to this. It just kind of depends on how that lays out in the future, but this is a much shorter distance. This pipe, you can kind of see the angle because it kind of makes a little greenery,
Yeah.
extra greenery there. But we can take that out inlet here and just shoot it straight down and then in that direction. Or we could create any number of things because all of this water flows this way.
But right now,
Yeah.
in order to build the wastewater treatment plant, it is in the way.
No, it's not necessarily in the way. It's kind of the buried pipe that exists here. You can see it's kind of going to be going next to the building, so we could tighten up the site a little bit if that
Okay.
pipe were moved. But it's more of a, is it worth it in the end kind of question. The big thing is all this land over here that drains in this direction. It all has to flow around to get up to here, and then it ends up going that way anyway. So it may be even more advantageous to put an inlet here and then go underneath the new industrial drive and outlet into there. But then we'd have to this lot would have to be regraded to make that work, and that's I don't know what that's going to look like.
Is that some of the spot that AJ was talking about?
Yeah.
Loading up with dirt anyway, filling up that other side of the industrial drive. So maybe that'd
That
take
other
care
lot
of it.
behind Bodine's, he was talking about building that up at one
That'd be
time.
right there then.
Correct. But I don't know, my only thoughts are, future development, directing that water the way that it is now.
It'd shoot right down their lot, whatever's there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Affect development.
So long term, this ditch kind of this big ditch ends up having to stay here. When these old lagoons get filled in, flattened or whatever, right now all the water from the entirety of this cell flows in a ditch on this side and then goes all the way around. If this all gets flattened in the future and that goes straight across, this ditch might not be as important anymore, and you could probably flatten it if you were able to send this water here directly over to there. So it could give a little more value to this property.
Do we not have to build this where we're gonna put that, aren't we gonna build that up somewhat, that lot?
This one?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll be grading it a little bit. We'll probably constrict this swale a little bit, knowing that it's gonna go away. But when we build it, all this still is there. So we have to kind of at least maintain the capacity through this swale until we're done, and these existing berms can be flattened.
but what I was saying is if we're gonna build this lot up where we're gonna put the treatment plant, wouldn't that raise it up enough here to help slope it that way? For an open cut ditch?
No, not really,
No?
because this is the high point of the property. And then it kind of falls off probably 20 feet this way and about 10 feet that way to drain away.
All right.
So we were planning on utilizing that as the high point to put the highest structures.
Oh, okay.
So
All right.
it would change the layout. It wouldn't affect what we're doing right now
Right.
necessarily, but we can
Okay.
definitely. The issue that I would have with open cut is that if I go down, then I've got to go a long way back up,
Right.
and then this gets shifted
Down.
a
Yep.
lot,
Yep.
and takes up a lot more space on the property.
Right. Okay. We need a motion on that?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion for the amended facility site plan design, schedule, and SRF.
Second.
Caroline.
Jerry?
Caroline.
Jerry,
Kathy, aye.
Okay. Thanks, Alden.
next Thursday would be our next regular monthly meeting. I'm gonna be out of town next Thursday, so we're talking about doing it Tuesday at 8:30. So instead of Thursday at 9, it'd be Tuesday at 8:30 if anybody wants to join us for that. I think a little bit earlier.
What's the date?
16th. Yeah.
Alrighty,
All right.
thank
thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Okay, police report. We got a new officer tonight.
Feels like it. Actually, my 6 weeks went a lot faster than I thought it would, so it's very good to see you guys. Any questions on the report? We did have 4 arrests on there. The possession of a controlled substance arrest was for methamphetamine. I do have a recent GTSB waive that we just had that ended July 6th over the weekend. I'm sorry, it would have been July 7th. I will have numbers for you for the next, on the next report. And have those available for this one.
So who did that? Who was it?
Eric had a shift on there, and then Mike Comer had two evening shifts. That'll be covered by GTSB.
You did see him, so it's nice. Good.
Any questions on that? Any other comments, concerns?
Welcome back.
Thank you, Jim. It's good to be back. Even better to get on patrol. Thank you, Council.
The vehicle will be getting fixed on Monday.
Yeah, that's scheduled for the 15th.
And who's doing it? Willis?
Yes. Yep. I think that's scheduled for the 15th.
Okay, anything else on that, on police? And we'll move on. Resolution approving the internal loan for industrial drive.
This resolution allows us to pay for the industrial drive project, which is close to be getting started in a
Thursday.
Okay. Thursday, we'll see if that holds. So this legally allows us to pay for that project now as it's going on, and then we will be able to reimburse ourselves, and it so happens to be the sewer fund that we're paying that out of now, and then it will be reimbursed with the TIF funds as that comes in over the next 4 years. So this has to be in place before we can start paying the bills for that.
What's the resolution number?
47.
I'll make a motion for resolution number 47, resolution authorizing the internal advance for funding of urban renewal project.
I'll second.
Caroline? Karen, I.
Jerry, aye.
Kathy, aye.
John,
Okay, resolution 48, adopting revisions to the employee handbook for the city of Peosta.
I highlighted the changes. Karen had a good catch that we're also gonna make some changes to the longevity, so I had that on my list to do later this year when we did the pay scale, but I think it's a good point to have that change before we make any hires in the police department. So all of the changes, I believe, are on page
after 5 years, so for years 5 to 9, you get $500 additional, correct?
Correct.
So from 10 to 14, do you get $1,500 extra or 1,000?
1,000.
Okay, the way I read it is, this is building up upon each other.
Oh, okay.
Because it doesn't say between year 5 and 9, year 500. It almost looks like it's,
Right, that those, so like it includes every level before it.
right.
So there, I need to find a way to, so, no, that's certainly not how it works. But I guess I can definitely add a sentence, or yeah, just maybe
22 and 23.
clarify those years, add it.
Or something, yeah,
Yeah,
because it,
no, that's a good,
because it just looks like it's, you're building on it.
yeah, no.
Oh, you're on page 26. Okay.
And I know that the sentence following that, following listing the longevity is a little, it might be clear as mud, but there's a little bit of a transition here that's gonna be difficult, so I was trying to explain that, you know, you're not, this won't actually be engaged until everybody wears out the current longevity bonus they're on. So does that make sense to you, as you guys read that? No, yes, you're right. So for someone who's in year, 6, they received their 5-year bump, which does not get taken away, so they receive that extra percentage, they're earning that in year 5, and then in year 6, and then year 7, or 8, 9, 10. So you guys will make this will be effective now, but that person in year 6 doesn't get $500 next year on their anniversary. They will receive nothing in terms of this schedule until year 10, because they will still be experiencing the percentage increase. So in theory, 5 years from now, we will no longer have to track that. Karen and I already had a conversation about how we'll have to note that. So eventually that will all clear itself up, but to make sure there's no double coverage of longevity, it will be it'll be a little bit of a tracking the game, but
On your carryover vacation, Whitney,
yes.
is there a time limit to use the 40 hours or?
No, there isn't, other than you can't ever carry over more than 40, so.
Got a year to use it.
Right, I mean, you can use it, so the next year, I guess you could, because then, it would I guess unless we wanted to restrict it then to less than a year, that would be year only, that would be something we could consider.
So you brought this up before, right? Because the way this reads to me is probably what you already said, but I'm just looking for it, so I'm sorry. So 500 each year, so 5 years, so 6, 7, 8, 9. You get 500 on your anniversary date,
Yes. Correct.
and then 1,000 from 10 until 14, and then 1,500 on 15.
$1,516 through 19.
An extra $1,500 every year.
Yes, which is actually, I know it sounds really bizarre like this, but this is exactly consistent with the way it always was. So when you get, 20 years, when you get a 4% bump, you get 4% extra added to your salary. That does not get taken away. So you get 4% extra, year 20, year 21, year 22, year 23, year 24. It's just spread out obviously over 26 pay periods.
I don't think that's what we had in mind, was it? Is that what we had in mind? We had in mind was when you hit 5 years, you got 500.
When you
When you
hit
hit 10 years, you got 1,000.
15.
You got a one time.
So you want this changed to a one-time?
That's what we thought.
Okay. Well, I absolutely.
Am I wrong?
No,
I was thinking it was annual. Because a 4% bump,
never.
a 4% bump on 40 grand.
The reason I did this annually is because that's the one I sent you that we looked at like this was annual. I recall too that we hadn't, I know we didn't discuss this to finality to entirety, which, I mean, when you brought it up, I knew we needed to do this, but, we talked about it, but I know that we never really came to a consensus.
Yeah, we never did. Yeah, that's true. pension was not a yearly thing. I wanted to do away with longevity.
Right, that's what we were trying to get away
So I
from.
thought if they
no,
got
that's
a
certainly-
bonus
this
on the
is-
year of their anniversary, that it would be something.
It is very.
But I don't want this multiplied.
You, like, you get, what was it, at 15, you get $1,500?
Yes.
And then if you make it to 20 years, then you got, what was it?
2,000.
2,000.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is very easy to tailor to whatever you guys wish it to be.
That's what I.
So you just want, at 5 years, you get 500 and just the
You-
one time at 5 years, right?
Right.
And then at 10 years,
You got the,
you get 1,000.
Right.
Just the one time.
yeah.
That's not really longevity then anymore, is it?
Well, that's what we were trying to do away with, is longevity.
Just more of a
It's more of just a bonus. than-
bonus, yeah.
For longevity years.
Well, it's appreciation.
I mean, it's not a bonus for
I mean,
any
it's something.
job
It's
performance.
appreciation,
It's
you know.
it's for being here that number of years. It basically has nothing to do with performance.
Right,
It's the number of years employed.
right.
Outside of government, I've never seen longevity, to be honest. When they hit a certain pay scale,
I
they're
have to
maxed
agree.
out. A lot of them.
But we don't have a pay scale.
Pardon?
But we don't have a pay scale.
We're working towards that too.
That's,
We're
yeah,
working towards that.
yeah.
But we tried that and that failed miserably.
I'm not in favor of a annual.
And I'd be okay, I guess I'd be okay with doing them every 5 years. But I think to be quite frank, someone that's been here for 25 years, giving them a check for $2,500 is not much of a thank you. After taxes, it's $1,200. I mean, it's
I-
something. I don't
They
grab
have
something.
I-
But
they
I
have
mean, 25 years of
IPers.
service.
I mean,
They
there's a
have
lot of
IPers.
places you don't get anything.
No, you're right.
They have IPers, we pay half of that. They can have a pension fund somewhere, they get insurance paid. I mean,
Right now, at 25 years, the way the program is, what do you get? Is it 4%, 6%,
Well, 5% at 25.
5% at 25?
So you've been here for 25 years.
And then that goes until 30, right? I think it's every
It's a total
year.
number.
And it maxes out at 5?
I think that's where the issue, the problem comes is that in regular business, there's not a lot of this longevity, and I give you that. But I think it's kind of a norm in government, what I've been hearing, talking to, is that true? No? Yes?
maybe in government, but that's the only place.
Right. I mean,
Where's
there's a lot of things in government
government?
that don't happen anywhere else too.
Right.
I mean,
You
I
talking
wish,
about cities or
Yeah, just in general,
states or?
just in general.
I mean, I haven't checked with any.
I never worked
Cities,
anywhere in my
see.
life where I got benefits like the government does.
Right.
I've never had benefits like this.
So it pays for $200 for 20 years.
So is this something we wanna, since we talked about a pay scale, try to wrap this up in with a pay scale?
Pardon?
Do we wanna try to wrap this in with a pay scale? Do we wanna try to tackle that again, or do we want to?
We could do away with it and I'd be satisfied. I mean, not the people that are getting it now, but to not offer it would be fine with me. Like I say, they have their IPers, they have their insurance.
Well, I think it's a nice benefit to give the employees at least on their anniversaries.
It'd be nice to recognize them on their anniversary, but you don't wanna get into a bonus thing because of taxes, they say.
So you wanna, for the employees that are currently getting this, you wanna leave it this like this?
Well, you don't want, no, I leave it the way they have it.
The way it was.
The percentage.
I mean, you don't wanna take away either. I mean, they've grown dependent on it, but the new ones don't have to. just leads towards a leaner government program. Cause we gotta keep hiring more employees. It wasn't bad when you just had a couple, 3 employees. But now we gotta cover all these employees and it's gonna be more difficult.
I mean, you're just talking an extra $500 a year for an employee's wage, right? That's nothing. Even at $2,500 for the
Now, once
employee
you
to
take-
get here.
Take taxes out of it.
Yeah, I know. So if somebody's here 25 years, you give them $2,500. I mean, that's nothing compared
If you're gonna
Well, they're
keep giving
getting
them 2,500
raises.
a year, then
In the meantime,
Yeah.
we're getting the regular wages and the
How many hours
raises.
do you work in a year?
2,080 hours in a year.
At least some of them.
I mean, this is aside from the raises and the regular pay.
Mm-hmm.
2080?
Yeah.
What does Mighty M do? Longevity.
I got a ring.
Yeah, see, that's what
It's
I was
like
saying.
2,500.
Just refer
Hold on.
to, they
But
give you a catalog
everything's
and tell you to
different.
pick something out of it.
Everything's a little bit. Well,
That's what they do.
what's the price of the stuff in there? $250, $500.
Oh, we
Lie
can
to
go
you
one
about it.
TVs, whatever. But it's something. So I mean, to do away with it altogether, I think is wrong.
and doing away with it altogether, it's just,
Instead of
Well,
cash,
it's
maybe
an
we ought
option.
to give them, like you said, give them a hand for 5 years. Give them a ring for 10. How many years does it take to get your
A
ring?
watch, a clock.
But
5 years.
if I'm there 20 years, I get another diamond. So,
Oh, there you go.
but you know, it's not. I don't work
It's
to
an
afford the
technology.
diamond. You know what I
do
mean?
you
I
get a
work
ring
there for
every
my
year,
job.
Jerry?
But
Every
it's a nice
5.
thing to do.
See,
Yeah, it's
every
like-
5.
Not every year.
Yeah. That's where I was too. You had a pin. And every 5 years, something was added to the pin. Every 5 years. Nothing in between. What's the county do?
What's county do there?
They shake his
Nothing.
hand. They're union.
Yeah, we are union.
Is that,
New shovel with a rubber end on the handle of your.
New T-shirt with an upside down pocket.
New shovel,
Was this something you guys want to look at? It, what different towns are doing to kind of compare before we do something?
no, I think we ought to do what's good for Peosta. I mean, we're gonna have to hire, I mean, we're growing every day. We're gonna have more employees, we gotta keep the expenses under control. And this is something that isn't gonna affect their everyday life. Because they still get the raises, they still get their benefits. It's a perk.
I have checked the wages, different towns around here. Piastas are good.
Mm-hmm.
They are good.
We're also probably busier than most around, so we have to pay for what we're.
Yeah, remember, we
Required.
were this, right? We have that, I gave you the whole spreadsheet. We're right in line with everybody else, right? We are good. We're not the very best. We're not the very worst. We're right in the middle. If you guys are more comfortable with this, I mean, I don't disagree to one, a 5-year, 10-year, that makes sense also. The employees would totally be glad. I would just definitely want you to acknowledge or keep this in mind, because we've had lots of conversations about different elements of employee benefits throughout the year. So this is something, yeah, if it makes sense to scale it back a little bit, and that's what you're comfortable with, then go ahead. But definitely, I think you want to keep that on the slate as we are discussing wages and insurance and everything else. Yeah, it's all a big package, and so I mean, we like working here. I haven't worked here very long, but so yeah, just it's all gotta fit together. It's something you guys are comfortable offering to your employees.
So where are we at?
Well,
Make a motion to do away with longevity. Right? Nobody said that.
Nope, that one died for lack of a second. What else you wanna do? Let's come up with something.
I'll make a
Somebody
motion
else.
to go with this listing, at least on their anniversary dates for every 5 years, to give them something.
But not
Long
continuous
term.
every
Not
year,
yearly, but
correct?
every
Every 5 years.
5,
Yeah.
10, 15, and 20.
Yeah.
Is that- yeah.
Okay.
I would go for that.
I need a second.
How about that?
Yeah, so if, never mind, you guys go ahead and finish it. When you're done discussing it, you can still approve the resolution, just note that the.
Contingent
approving
upon?
the resolution with the requested changes.
Jerry, do you make a motion?
He did.
I'll second.
Caroline.
Karen, I.
Jerry, I.
Kathy, aye.
John,
Okay.
So that's resolution number 48.
Yep.
With the
Proposed changes.
amendments.
Does that cover all 3 sections or just longevity?
Well, the resolution covered all sections, so
Okay.
I really think that the vacation carryover, I feel like is very necessary just with the workflow that we have here, the fact that it's not predictable, and it happens to be that anniversaries are grouped together, it just makes sense that.
Is this new compared to what it was?
Yeah, so it was a use it or lose it scenario, which was problematic. I know previously, like, the mayor had approved carryovers, but it was getting to be where we were having most people having to carry over. For example, like, Matt, Dean, and Woody's anniversary all falls within like a 6-week period. Well, with the work in the winter, this winter being what it was, they all had a lot to burn up. They had to, everybody was trying to use the same time. There was, a medical issue. Or the year before, it was the spring, the same time that Pat got hurt, when they all had this vacation to use up. So it's just, this allows better planning because you don't have to try to plan to use it down to the hour, which we all know just can't. That's nearly impossible.
it's also a nice perk to carry it over for emergencies.
Right. Then you could just, you save a couple days if something bad happens, and if nothing bad happens, which is great, then you don't lose those 3 days, you can just.
But it has to be used before the next anniversary date, correct?
But you can
Anything
continue
over
to
40.
Yeah, you can only carry out 40 years, and you could,
Over.
the problem is then you could use, whatever vacation you use first is that old vacation in theory, but it really doesn't matter because you can only carry over 40 hours.
Hours. But
Every year.
You can't accumulate 40 every
So
year.
if I got 2 weeks this year, I only use a week, I carry a week over, so hypothetically next year I have got 3 weeks.
And you have to use
I have to use 2 of those to
If you
carry
only
over.
use a week, you still only carry over a week.
Correct.
Yeah.
okay.
without having to anybody who wanted time carried over had to come to you for.
Yeah, they'd ask. And
Yeah,
I think Matt was the only one that had the problem because he took over from Pat
Sure.
and couldn't get it used up. So
People aren't stressed out.
So
That's pretty typical too.
the policy still actually requires that a vacation carryover form be submitted to the administrator, which I think is good practice just because we really still we want people taking their vacations
Right.
for health and wellness purposes. So it's more of a formality, but it's a documentation, just step 2, so.
okay, we all good? All right, moving on. Fire Station Park.
I just got an email from the Peosta Days Committee this afternoon when I was in the meeting, and so this option that is in board docs is that option 1 reconfigured just a little bit with the new swing set. See, the new quote is also in there, which came pretty reasonable. And at this point, tentatively, Peosta Days is considering covering the equipment costs. They haven't had a chance to meet formally, so their committee will be contributing significantly, so then that would just leave the installation and the rubber mulch for the city.
Wow.
So that'd be about 30 grand, that'd be
Yeah.
29 grand. I'm reading.
Yeah.
Split in half, basically.
Wow.
That's,
We better all volunteer this year, huh?
Is there gonna be baby swings involved with this? I don't know
Yes,
if you got
I
my
apologize. I
email.
know, as soon as I got it, I thought the same thing, and then all of you thought the same. Yes, we can just swap out 2 of those for the little bucket swings.
Same price.
They said they were checking with the guy, it would be in the hundreds of dollars, though, just different with, to get 2 bucket swings.
when,
Would we be tearing this stuff out, or who would tear that stuff out?
Yes, this does not include the,
removal.
yeah. Which was, I mean, that was what I directed, I said that we would,
And
What do we
this
do with that stuff?
be just junked or?
I don't know. I mean, I
We
know
could
that we
sell
had
it
some
if they don't
discussion on that.
fire.
What's that?
Probably sell it for something.
Cindy knew somebody who would buy it, so.
Yeah.
Do we open ourselves up to liability if somebody
Oh,
gets
I
hurt
don't
on it after that, after we sell it?
I don't know, I could ask.
Knowing that there's problems with it?
Sign a waiver.
No, there's no,
Yeah.
they're buying as is, it's like
As
you're buying
is.
a used car,
Yeah.
there's no
Well,
liability on it.
but you're talking city now and not,
Well, they can,
Right.
anybody can sue anybody for
Right.
anything, but you're not only sue yourself for liability, it's like selling a used car,
Or
or
take
anything,
part in it.
there's buyer
Make a
beware.
little one until
Okay.
it helps.
Yeah, but you saw that.
No, I don't do that.
But why not, really? You know, rather
Did
than-
Cindy want to buy it, or did she know somebody that wanted to?
She know, it's
You know, she
somebody
might.
sells
She
in
might.
town.
She's kind of unhappy about it.
so one more time, Whitney, what did you say the community center was gonna do?
It's not the community.
The Piasta Days
Or Piasta Days, I'm sorry.
is considering covering the
29.
equipment cost, which would be the 29,000. But again, like I said, that's me speaking to one member. He let me know that was their thoughts, but they haven't met formally, so.
And are we doing the loose fill rubber or the mats?
Well, it's both. The mats are just for the bottom of the slides.
Oh, okay.
The rubber chips, I think we've talked about it, probably being a good idea, and if we're gonna have everything dug up and out of there, now's the time, better than any to actually have all the wood chips out of there.
Yeah.
And this is leaving the diggers, right?
Yes. Digger stick.
So those will be in rubber too, or
No.
They're saying.
they'll stay in sand?
Yeah.
Is that an issue? Is that an issue with the sand being so close to this rubber?
I don't know. I mean, I can check, I wouldn't guess so, he was there, this rep came down and actually looked at it, which was nice, he was the only one who did that, so that was,
Cindy wanted that.
right, that's a good.
She wanted that.
So if we don't sell it, maybe we can tell her she can have it if she removes it.
Who's that?
Cindy.
Oh, I think we're gonna have our own equipment in there, popping everything
Are
else
you
out.
talking like a blue rubber or just a loose rubber?
The loose rubber.
The loose rubber.
Wouldn't you rather have the man?
I think the blue rubber, like what's up here, is gonna be a
That's
lot
what I
better.
like too.
The other stuff's gonna blow away.
That adds like $100,000 for the project.
So then,
4 by
So that's
6,
what
2
that
inches
one
thick,
has.
450 each.
I think so, cause the glue, that's what we're talking, that's what makes it, that's the like handicap accessibility.
The rubber mats.
When it's full rubber mats, yeah, what they're talking about rubber mat here is different, that's just a thing that they put on the bottom, you put at the end of the slide.
Oh, okay. I thought that was the,
No, sorry, yeah, that's kind of squirrely terminology, but.
My
So-
concern with the loose rubber is gonna be if you get any leaves or stuff like that, and then grass clippings.
will
You're
they
not
just,
just gonna blow it out, you're not gonna be able to maintain it.
will they just decompose?
Will they decompose?
Have you ever done one with rubber chips?
They blow away.
Have you ever done one with rubber chips?
Now we had that conversation on Night with Stacy, and, she didn't like the rubber chips.
that's,
My
I can't say.
No, I'm obviously not speaking from a maintenance perspective. I mean, I'm speaking from the usability perspective. I mean, I would assume there's a way to maintain it. I don't know because they're everywhere, but I don't know. I don't know the spec on
So
that.
the rubber chips aren't any heavier than wood chips? That they're just gonna blow away?
They're definitely heavier.
Well, they're not going to deteriorate.
Alright,
If nothing else, will wash or blow or.
They float.
Get
They
carried
float too.
away.
A pound of rubber chips is
Go
gonna
home
weigh
and
just as
kids'
much as a
shoes
pound
and
of.
Well, then, is this
Wood
something
chips.
we wanna consider just doing if we're just doing the
'Cause it's
chips,
bone.
and it's gonna be a maintenance issue, we're gonna have the same maintenance issue, just do the wood chips?
I don't know that we're gonna have a maintenance issue. Do you think?
You have to maintain the wood
Let's
chips.
just give it
more
a
than-
try.
Right, but I'm just, I think, I would think though that those rubber chips, if it gets blown off into the grass, it might eat up a lawnmower or something.
No, I think it'd be all right.
Oh, no, I don't think that.
They're
no,
chewing
that
up
won't hurt
sticks
a
and
lawnmower.
stuff. You know, given the situation with the funds being the way they are, we might as well just do it the way it is with rubber chips and the mats. And, you know, since we're getting half of it covered and see what happens.
Maybe we could down a bucket of glue and level it up.
I got some little super glue bottles, Karen, if you want to just go glue them all together.
Oh, I can get school glue in a big container.
Okay, when you're talking Cindy Raker, right?
Yeah.
And she wants it, she'll buy it or she'll just take it?
I don't know, probably either way. But
Can we-
She didn't want that big slide disappearing. She wanted to keep it around here.
Can we require her to, if she gets it, to take it out? To save us the removal?
She'd probably take it out if you
Well,
wanted that.
Do we want somebody in there with some machinery popping stuff out?
Do we really have to get rid of it? Do we have to get rid of it?
I mean, it's gotta be moved. I'm confused as to the question. When do we have to get rid of it?
Do you want it in another location? Is that what you're? It can't.
Well,
What you're saying is it can't stay there.
the reason we're taking it out of there because it's falling apart.
Not
No,
the
that's the
slide.
playground.
Oh, the
stuff.
slide, you're
Yeah.
talking, oh, okay, I didn't know you were talking the slide.
Oh, I know why we're taking the other one out.
Yeah, that's,
Oh, the big slide.
oh, okay.
The big slide's a liability.
Well, this,
Oh, you were talking about the whole playground.
Yeah.
You know, she might, I don't know. Talk to her, Jerry.
so is that slide, would we be able to use that slide someplace else, at a future location?
The slide, we did a close examination of the slide. I know you guys said it is freestanding, but there is a shared.
Yeah,
pole.
I
There's a
looked at
shared
that.
pole.
Yeah.
From the
It's
swing set and
attached
the
to
slide
it.
share one pole. Now, it looks like the swing set can exist without the slide, but the slide might have some other leg installed if it's not next to the swing set.
Right.
Got it.
Oh, there's not.
This is something.
We went directly there after the last meeting.
No,
we
you
went
didn't.
from the county.
And I said, let's have, give
That one
something,
they
sell
did.
the whole damn kit and move to it.
Well, the thing
Or
is,
like I said, if Cindy will take it, just let her take it.
Sign up for sealed bids.
what kind of, what are you gonna cut it all off, cut the pipes off, or pop them out of the ground with the cement on the bottom? How would you do that to keep them from getting all bent up? And
Well, the cement would probably have to be dug
For us
out.
to read.
for whoever, I'm just asking.
To remove them from where they're at.
The removal would have to be, if we're gonna do it, cut them off.
I don't know if you can, all and still get the other ones where you want them.
Well, we'd have to get rid of them, but as far as mobilization of it, you're not gonna move it with a big, lots of concrete on it, So if you
It's
cut
cut
them off
off.
the surface,
Right.
and then we go in there and dig out and dispose of that part of it.
I see.
What if somebody was gonna reuse it? They'd
If
have
they're
to
gonna
come in.
reuse it, they're gonna have to weld some plates on the bottom, put some concrete anchors in as far as poles and mount some plates on it and anchor them
And
down.
bolt them down.
You don't
Or-
reuse it, that's about the only.
Or
way.
put another piece of pipe up inside
Or put
there,
another piece of pipe internally.
weld it in.
Maybe they're anchored down in something already. Is that
Yeah.
possible?
Cement in
I think
some
they're
of the
concrete,
pipes.
yeah. Pretty sure they are.
I don't know.
Okay, so anyway, can we get a motion to approve this swing set? And we'll figure out what we're
Are
gonna
we
do.
100% on the Peosta days? And what
We
they're
are,
doing?
I know when I talked to him, that wasn't this amount, but it was real close to this amount.
Okay.
So I think it's just a matter of whoever, I don't know, Stacy, who you're talking to, but, you know, Mike said that they were confident with a little bit lower, lesser number, but we're talking within a couple $1,000.
So just
They're
work.
gonna- What's gonna happen is they'll, I'm sure, reimburse the city, so you can go approve it to the entire amount, correct? Yeah, if you wanna approve this quote, which I don't.
And that you want the 7 mats at the bottom, right?
Yes.
Yes,
So
please.
54, 679 plus 3150.
It's a total amount.
57,829.
57829.
Does that include tax? There's probably tax.
We don't have
No,
taxes.
we don't get
Oh.
taxed.
No tax title license.
Nope.
And that includes sales tax and responsible.
You added all 4 of these?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the playground equipment. Is it bowling recreation?
Mm-hmm.
Bowling recreation amount of $57,829,
I'll double check that too, Lori.
please.
I'll second.
Karen, I.
Jerry, aye.
Kathy, I.
All right.
Okay, we're good. Fencing permit.
This permit was discussed by planning and zoning, and they provided comments, and then I created this and emailed this to the group, and they all approved. So I think this is where we have landed. I don't necessarily need a motion from the council tonight, because we need to amend, this will have to be an amendment for ordinance, but I wanna obviously make sure we don't wanna go down that path until we're sure this is something you guys want, so let's hear it. Let me know what you think. Yeah, there are certainly things planning and zoning went back and forth on, so.
Continuous planting over 6 feet in height. It shall not be over 6 feet in height.
In which sentence? First sentence?
No fence, the second.
No fence or continuous planting over 6 feet in height shall be maintained in the rear yard. So some of those are trees back there and they grow.
But they're not continuous. You know, they're not used as a
Some-
fence, right? That's the
some
purpose of
fill
it.
No,
Well,
they
there
are
is.
used as a fence. That's
Yeah.
in the covenants at Royal Oaks.
Say that again?
You can use, that's the only thing you could have in Royal Oaks was a continuous plant fence.
Are the covenants still in effect?
The
or-
covenants are.
Not for phase 1.
Yeah.
So
But
do you
phase
want,
2 is, so you would have to, you could put in a continuous row of trees, but you would have to maintain it to 6 feet tall. You couldn't go over 6 feet.
Is there a lot of those there? So like arborvitae?
No, so that's
Yeah.
kind of what I
That
was
would
getting
include
at.
arborvitae, yeah.
Grant, are we
I
just,
guess this would, to me, it would come down to there's probably a legal definition for continuous planting. I don't know what that is. Like, I guess I wouldn't think trees, I don't know how to.
But like an arborvitae, that you put 8, 9, 10 of them, right? Is that what you're kind of thinking?
A shrub, yeah.
I mean, they
That
can
would
be
grow
20
50
feet
feet.
high, or, yeah.
But is a shrub different than a tree? When I read continuous planting, I was thinking about bushes.
But then when you said that, yeah.
But I've got neighbors across the street from me planted bushes and they're about 15 feet high now.
so is there a grandfather clause on this then?
Yeah,
Yes, of
obviously.
course there is.
Right, yeah.
Is there
certainly
a-
This wouldn't apply.
Because those fences that are up already, Jerry, are grandfathered in.
Oh, I just didn't read it, so that's why I asked the question. And is there a deteriorating fence clause in here? If the fence is deteriorating, if it's falling apart?
Because we have that on the corner
I'm
already.
just, we should probably put something in
Yeah,
there.
I
If
agree.
it
That's
falls
good,
apart,
that's
Yeah.
if it's rusting, if it's a
Something
black
about
chain link
I mean, if
fence.
you're gonna put these fences up, you have to maintain them.
Yeah.
And, 5 years down the road, they can't
So
be
they're,
falling apart.
so they
It's
look
older,
decent all the
yeah.
time. You don't want them, yeah. I agree
Wording
with that.
can't be ambiguous either. It's gotta be pretty straight.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
and then it's gonna be, city will probably take care of it at the cost of the homeowner or something like that. I don't know how that would read, but
No, it's fine, I mean, it is.
We're gonna have
That was my only
People
concern.
like that?
I didn't think
The
that.
6 feet height one was the, I know Dean can't get over the 6 feet anyway, but.
You'd be surprised.
If you can't
I'm
get over
hoping
it, you
you're
can
not,
get through
just for
it.
insurance sake.
If you can't get over it, you can get through it, can't you?
Tree, yes, but.
So what do you? I don't know how long the continuous planting out of there.
I would think.
But that's in the covenants though.
But this is,
But this has nothing to do with the covenants.
no, this is
No,
a
this
fence
is just-
permit.
Yeah, this is just fencing.
So I don't, the planting probably doesn't need to be a part of the fence permit.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know, I leave that in there.
Did you just wake up?
No, I kinda like it, I was hoping to stay. We have continuous bushes between us and the neighbor.
Yes,
And
you
the old neighbor, he'd keep them down, just to put it low. The other one leaves them, just send them out, nothing goes. As far as they go, I guess. So, I just like to take a chainsaw the whole thing. They draw gnats. But I think everything draws gnats this year.
They're about gone now, aren't they?
Yeah, the mosquitoes there, now we have mosquitoes.
No, we
Those
still,
beetles are back.
we still got gnats too.
So, Jerry, you're saying take the,
Well, or continuous planting shall be maintained
Take
within
it out.
30
Yeah.
feet. So it kinda, it's kinda,
I think I'd leave that in there too.
I kinda like it, but I
Somebody,
understand about the
somebody
trees, you can't.
plant a row of arborvitae and they get up.
A tree has to
15
be
feet.
8 feet above the
but
tree.
you know, if I'm,
So, that,
let's just say I'm living over here, and next thing we know, we got, because it's zone commercial, right? And someone throws up a big machine shed, well, I don't wanna look at that.
mhm.
So I might wanna throw some arborvitae up there, to draw a border between you and the commercial area. Or if I'm living, or if I'm
Could we
living,
define
And you don't want to
continuous
have to
planting
cut
as not
it in
being
6
trees?
feet.
right, cause I'm not 6 feet tall.
I mean, we can, it's our policy, it's all our ordinance, so we can just define continuous, and we're fine just
define
leaving
it
it
as
where it's
bushes and
right.
vines.
Or is it, put a note in there, special permit, or something like that, special instances?
Now, we got an ordinance that says the tree has to be 8 feet above street level. So how are you gonna have a tree under 6 foot?
Say that again?
We have an ordinance that says if you have a sidewalk or something, the tree can't hang over the street or the sidewalk less than,
continuous.
But is it
that's at
continuous?
least 8 feet above.
But is it
right?
continuous? Is your,
Pardon?
It's not
A maple tree is
continuous.
not continuous.
can I have 18
Not considered.
maple
But
trees,
they're
then it's
talking
continuous.
trees as far as continuous, if they're close to a street, how are you gonna keep it
this
under
is
6 foot?
continuous.
and
But if you have
rest of
one, Karen, if you have one tree that's not continuous, if you have 18 trees, then it's continuous.
And these have to be planted in the right of way, and they're on their property. They can't plant them.
Does it say that?
Yeah, 30,
Well,
30,
does-
within, shall be planted and maintained within 30 feet of any
30
corner
feet of
lot,
any corner
intersection,
lot.
so that'll take care of
That's a good
your,
idea.
your impairing.
Well, I kinda like this ordinance, but I'm not.
I mean, is there, do we do some kind of a
I mean, if we
special?
put something in there with the planting materials or whatever, I think we have to give some of these people an out for being next to the highway.
Yeah, now you get real detailed, yeah.
But I mean, really, I mean,
Exactly.
if I live next to the highway, that's, I know I chose to live there, but I wanna block that noise or something with something.
And planning and zoning we did talk about some of these things and, you know, that we finally settled on the fact that obviously a variance is always an option for anyone, right? So I think that might be how some of these things happen in handle where we have to start with this sort of narrow frame. And if you are, you know, next to a machine shed in Highway 20, then that's certainly
Yeah,
something
if-
the Board of Adjustments would have to consider, but it doesn't sound like from listening to you at planning and zoning that we want to start, we can't just allow it for everyone who might be in trouble, so this might be a place to start, and if you're finding it's too restrictive, then I agree with you that I think. But I don't know, I never thought of continuous planting as a trees aspect, so we could also exclude that if we want. I mean, we could define continuous
I think we already have something out there for bushes, trees, and intersections and distances that have to be trimmed. I think it's not quite as, I think 30 foot is, I think it's only 8 foot.
So why, so should we just take continuous?
Yeah, that
planting
seems
and
kind
leave the outlet?
30 foot from the corner.
I'd say no. I'd say we'd do a variance on, depending upon where it is. Like you said, if somebody's living out here close to the highway and they want arborvitaes to block the sound, then
Well, what's the definition of continuous planting? Is 3 trees, 4 bushes, 4 shrubs, 3 shrubs?
60,
Yeah, what is it? That's what I'm saying. What is continuous?
whatever they want to put in, I would
Right.
assume.
We probably don't have a definition in our ordinance now because this terminology isn't in there, but when it's in there, we will have to determine the definition.
And a blue spruce, is that considered what? Because that's what's on the corners of the continuous planting that they have through there, so.
Yeah,
And
that's
that
really-
went over.
You know, are you gonna say
I
what
would-
they can plant or?
I would think continuous planting would be confined to their
Let's just leave it
lot.
like this and we'll, like you said, the variances were, I just thought it was an interesting conversation, sorry.
Well, let's see again.
I'd say leave it in there, and if they come along and say, well, we're getting all this noise from the highway and we'd like to block it out, then we can talk about it at that time and decide where planning and zoning can talk about it, decide whether or not to let them do it.
Well,
Okay, well, so I'll take this general permit and we'll move forward with the draft, amendment, the zoning ordinance.
Yes.
I think that notification to your neighbors is very important.
Yeah, and they wrestled with that quite a bit because it's kind of a strange, you know, there's a couple of communities that require like a recorded document, and I think that's overkill. And then people refusing, and it can get kind of weird, and
I mean, it is your property.
Right, it feels like elementary school permission slip, so,
We
but it,
shouldn't have to be, we shouldn't have to be.
No, you shouldn't have to.
you don't need
that
that
anywhere.
anywhere.
Right.
So, but they thought it was worth noting that it's certainly
I think it's
recommended.
good to note it, but we're not gonna field it.
Right.
No, you're gonna tell them this is in there, that's what they
We're
need to
gonna have
have.
that. Particularly, it's not something that's like not visible, you know, they can see it, potential buyers, neighboring buyers, I mean, it's not like, to me, the point of something recorded, you know, that's often information that's hard to ascertain. This, whether you have a fence or in your yard or not, is not that. It's not representative of a secret agreement or anything. I think this will suffice for our purposes.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
Other business and correspondence. I was wondering, did Doug down here at Peosta Automotive, did he get a letter about those tires?
He was contacted, and so was Pat Anderson.
Okay. Because none of them have moved yet.
Called again. I
Okay.
think Doug was out of town.
No, well, no, he's there because he,
He was out of town when we
oh,
called.
he was, oh, okay. That's all I got.
Steve, you looked at the stuff we were talking about with AJ about that, with the road?
Oh, yes. So I made a phone call. Dean wasn't at the meeting. So I spoke to a concrete professional before I talked to Dean. The phone's just not gonna hold up under that kind
I
of.
saw that
No.
advertised on a commercial. It's like for sidewalks and
Yeah, it
porches.
is.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't support that kind of weight, so,
Oh.
I mean, yep, I spoke to Dean about it, he obviously concurred, he said that the key problem is that the base is no good, so it doesn't matter if you're putting the foam in, there's not gonna matter because our base is junk, so. So what we're going to do is really, I think our original plan, but a little bit beefed up, was to still do some patches, which was along the same lines of what Jim recommended, and we did have some of that budgeted, so there was also some money budgeted for Enterprise Drive, which we are thinking will
So have you seen them running that tractor in the weighted trailer? I mean, that trailer is way overloaded, and it goes up and down that street all the time.
Which street?
Enterprise starts over at Camso and goes all the way up to the store. Yeah. Maybe just have them run on the other side of the road. Push the little sides down. That trailer is super heavy.
What are they doing?
Testing tracks.
Oh,
I mean, they had it loaded and they were smoking it the other day. But that's not helping the situation out at all either.
No, I mean, I think everybody agrees it's in bad shape. It's only going to get worse, but we are in a ride her till she dies mode to get through this project because we're going to have cranes and whatnot going down through there building
Right, it doesn't make any economic sense to put a lot of money in it.
No, economic sensing, quite frankly, which I was thankful that Jim was able to reinforce the fact that logistically it would be nearly impossible. It would take Jerry 30 minutes to get to work. Probably not because being a motorcycle, we're in and out.
Have walk.
But it logistically it would be really impossible with the amount of construction traffic we're gonna have going through there to take that down to one lane. And, it's gonna be a logistical nightmare even when the project happens under perfect conditions. So we're gonna have to baby it along until it can all get.
I talked with Sylvan today for Stetson Building Products. There's not a product out there that's going to patch that. I mean, there's not a resolute for it, with the exception of reconstruction.
the only thing we could do is overlay it with asphalt, but it's gonna crack every
I was gonna say,
joint.
the minimum you're gonna build to is 4 inches and the cracks may surface before the paver release now.
Right.
You know?
Yep, I realize that, but I mean that it'd
It
smooth
may
it out.
smooth the ride,
Yeah,
But it's still not gonna be very cost effective.
right.
You know, if that's a route you wanna consider, maybe better off having Chinaman come in and do like we did those, test strips out here as far as the tar, the filler, you know, all it is a Band-Aid.
Is that an inch to cover that inch gap just to make it not so
No,
funky?
it's just gonna take that, it's gonna
Sharpness off.
take that sharpness off. That
We
is-
try a little bit of that and see what happens. You think?
What do we do with that piece is the issue. That stuff's $4 a foot,
$4 to patch it like that?
$4 a foot. Not very cost effective.
Well, we
I mean, there's a lot,
chop it
there's a
up,
lot of
leave them
sidewalks on that
gravel
street.
for a year.
What'd you say?
Chop it up and leave them gravel for a year.
Really give something to complain about that.
Yeah, there you go.
But it wouldn't be bumpy.
Does anybody come and just grind edges like we did up on the other road? Just take the edges off?
Compromises the whole street, he said.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
if we
Jim
take an inch
said.
off of, if we take
No,
an inch
not-
off of 6 inches, you're down to 5 inches.
Not grinding the whole thing, just each one of the seams.
Right, so then, and then when those edges chip, then that opens up more,
Makes a bigger.
stormwater, rainwater, then we gotta get in there and seal the cracks as well. So now we're draining and then we're sealing. You know, and if that's a thought, then you might as well spend $4 a foot, $3.75 a foot, and just go ahead and seal it and take the edge out. You know, with the sealer.
Did you get the moisture issue taken care of in here? Did you?
In our office?
Yeah.
Really?
Did you guys call it heating and air person or?
No, we turned the air down.
What about the humidifier?
Turn the air down and they got the heaters on.
I brought that up. I don't know if that will help.
Is there a humidifier system?
Should be.
We're running into like our paper, like our papers will be wet.
like that one would be a fix.
You can pick one of those up for
$4
$150
a foot to do that, that's crazy.
relatively inexpensive fix.
It's gonna get chopped up bad this year. Can't, I don't have another temporary way out on the road, is there?
No.
Between warehouses or?
Okay, we got anything else? Citizen comment? Okay,
Can I step right back though?
Yep.
I mean, do you guys have any direct instructions on Cap Drive?
I don't know what we could do other than to do like that micro milling and just mill them edges down, you know what I mean?
Do you favor the sealing over the milling?
Probably, yes.
Because he said.
I'm not
Mill it,
really
then you're gonna have to
in
seal
favor
it in.
either of them for the cost of it. I'm just afraid of the milling, so we
It's
get
a-
through this summer, and we take that roughness out, that sharpness out. You know, we go through another winter, we're back in the same situation.
Oh, yeah, you could
But if-
plan on that probably.
I thought if we just, even if we just took a ½ inch off, you know what I'm talking about,
Right.
micro milling.
Right,
You go across the Wisconsin Bridge, you can
Right.
see where if we just took a ½ inch off to shorten that lip up, it might make a world of difference. I don't know what it'd cost. I don't have those figures, but
You were gonna take money from enterprise and put it, what did you think, what were you just gonna do with them?
for patches. for
Just the patching?
Yeah, I guess my only concern for me, Larry, is pulling the sealer out of the joints. If, you know, that miller, milling
right,
would be my concern.
yeah. Like I said, that's the only thing I could think of. I don't know what else we could do other than to repave the entire thing.
Right.
You don't wanna coal patch it, that coal patch would
No,
hurt.
no, that'd be a waste of money.
Well, that would make everybody mad.
So yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe see what the price of the milling is versus Chinaman's $4 a foot.
I mean, so if the street's 35 feet wide, just pull the numbers, quick numbers, and you got a saw crack every 12 or 15 feet, what's the distance of that street?
It's a mile long.
20 feet or a mile.
5,280.
Divide that by 12, and that's the amount of saw cracks, and times that by 35, that's the footage
On each joint.
on the ceiling.
It's got them covered.
Yeah, but we really only need to work on a small section, right?
It's really just a west end that's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
We don't vouch for the grade that's going on if you take that single axle dump truck down that road. It's not pleasant.
It'll wake you up.
It's definitely not pleasant.
AJ said the worst part was the hill going up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that little section right there, that little,
Is it bad all the way down, you think?
it's not great.
Well, like I say, I mean, if you take that single axle, you really notice it.
Oh, yeah.
You don't sit still.
You don't notice until you get past Premier and going, well, by yellow there is where it starts, and then going up the hill past,
That's bad.
Down by Premier though, it's like shattered.
it's gone.
It's fixed itself.
It's the trucks going across so heavy right there with steel on it.
That's probably our main focus on a lot of the patchwork is right down there, and then I think there's a couple areas in front of Packers.
61,000 does all the saw cuts.
I don't think we need to do, like, you know what I mean? I think we need to
Really,
do.
every third month.
So maybe you can go for 55.
Maybe so we just don't keep reliving this, we will plan to bring the actual proposal for next meeting.
Yeah, see what China says. Have them ride up and down the street and go for the rough bumps and see what it comes back with for a
As
figure.
far as the ceiling.
Yeah. Because that way we're not grinding off the road and deteriorating, and this way it's sealing it, and hopefully it'll keep it a little bit better.
anything, something.
I mean, he'll be able to tell. I mean, just tell him not to do the whole street, just the bad stuff, and tell him the spots that we're gonna work on this year and fix down there. So, see what he says, I guess.
What are you gonna have to
So I guess
China.
when you're going to work tomorrow, give me an idea on what you think is bad and what's not. No, I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an idea, you know.
Yeah.
I can have some man come in and he's gonna say, let's do
He'll
it.
do the whole thing,
He's
yeah.
he's selling the product.
Yep.
So,
The street needs it too.
so yeah. I mean, he wanted to do Community Parkway, you know, all these, but would have had all the field money for it up,
Yeah.
you know. And wouldn't even had half the street done.
Yeah, from what I remember, it's just, you start right there at Premier and just head up the hill. Once you get up to the flat, up there, not quite to Bodine, it smooths out a little bit. But that hill is mainly the worst part.
So you're talking right there by the
FedEx,
entrance of Swiss Colonies,
all the way
all the
up.
way west.
And I wouldn't go past Bodine. You know what I mean?
No, because that's all gonna get tore up.
Yep, exactly.
So, I mean,
And I think it smooths
my
out.
hope is that we could probably stop at, Cap Drive.
Or where Barry's last entrance is, I think it actually smooths out pretty good. But that's from just me remembering.
Okay, we'll go with that. If we have nothing else. Someone make us a motion.
We need to stop the recording, we're gonna go into full session and then use, okay.
Okay, it's recording again.
I make a motion in closed session to discuss property purchase pursuant to chapter 21.5 of the state code of Iowa, which reads as follows: to discuss the purchase or sale of particular real estate only to where premature disclosure could be reasonably expected to increase the price of governmental body.
Right, Cole.
Would have to pay for the property or reduce the price of the governmental body or receive for that property.
I'll second.